This is a story about good people doing good things while making a living and serving their fellow man at the same time. In this case, right here in Bisbee. You might say it's a story about the principle of feeding your face and your soul at the same time, what some say is the very definition of success. Meet Sean and Joe Eddington. January 1st, 2020, they opened Joe's Consignment Antiques and Uniques on Bisbee Road in Warren. Joe is a thrift store impresario with a big background in consignment, thrift stores, and successful nonprofit entrepreneurial business models. Partner and husband Sean painstakingly and expertly runs the consignment store with Joe's experiential guidance. And Joe runs the adjacent nonprofit, which is set up to financially support the Tin Town Homeless Shelter and Resource Center, Bisbee Coalition for the Homeless, and the Verhelst Men's Recovery House, two important threads in Bisbee's social support fabric. Each month, both nonprofits receive donations generated through the consignment store's sales, all thanks to local purchases. By the end of June 2020, even with COVID-19's near-fatal business shutdowns in April and May, the store had paid out just under $50,000 in proceeds to consigners and contributed thousands to their two primary beneficiaries. We were on hand when Verhelst received this month's donation. As is the case with many consigners, this is their business, their livelihood. And here's the magic. Joe tells us that often sellers will sell for less than market value price for their goods because they know that through Joe's consignment sales, they're helping to support good local causes. And they know their goods will sell a bit faster and get cash more quickly into theirs and the hands of the designated local nonprofits. It's a win-win. And out of the gate, it's working. So, what is it about Verhelst that gave the org such a coveted nod by the well-oiled Joe's Consignment retail philanthropic operation? I sat down with Andy Enriquez, Verhelst Executive Director for 8 years, to gain insights. We started with some historical background, how and when Verhelst got started, how it works and is working.
In 1969, the local town doctor, Dr. Verhelst, he started the program himself. He had a soft spot for local alcoholics, and he had an auto wrecking yard. He was a big car enthusiast, and he would actually try to help various alcoholics who needed places to live and things to do by providing work for them at the auto wrecking yard. And he'd provide work for them, and then he'd help them try to bring them into a place of sobriety using the 12-step program of AA. And that developed into actually a building being acquired, and it was over on Naco Highway where Premier is now. And then I believe it was in 1973 they were able to acquire this building from the city. And this was the residence of the animal, the dog catcher at the time. And when he retired, I believe that then they were able to move the Verhelst House to this location, and it's been here ever since. Verhelst House is successful at what it does. If you look at national averages, we're way above national averages. We have an average success rate of about 35%. 35 doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a huge number. We don't consider somebody who has just completed the program a success. I actually track the clients after they've graduated. If they're still clean and sober and doing good things after a year, then they're a success. I attribute the success rate to two factors. And those two factors are combining a recovery program along with providing structure and daily activities that are normal daily activities for the men. So they have the program of recovery, and our foundation is based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics and Narcotics Anonymous. It's a program that's proven to work, it's proven to be true. And we teach the guys this program. They attend meetings, every day they were attending them every day before COVID. Now we have them 4 times a week. And the guys, they practice these principles that they're learning in the recovery program while at the same time having to get up in the morning, having structure, having to go out into the community, having to do something productive. And so the two in combination with each other is what I believe works. So then that way when they do leave here, they have that structure and they have that program of recovery that's been instilled into them. And as long as they follow that format when they leave here, they do well. Tough love is a huge aspect in this type of job, because you do have to keep the reins tied in really tight. You have to have kind of an iron fist, while at the same time understanding what the men are going through, and knowing where they're coming from and what their fears are and what their vulnerabilities are. And oftentimes they're trying to cover those vulnerabilities, but at the same time you can't allow bad behaviors to continue. You have to put your foot down, and you have to show these guys that that these bad behaviors are not going to work. They haven't worked for them in their lives up until this point, and that something's got to change. I have to draw the line oftentimes with guys, and I am showing them tough love, and I am showing them love, and sometimes it's by removing them from the program. I have to think of other clients that are in the house, and how this may affect them, and bad behaviors may affect them. And it's a huge aspect, because very quickly the old mentality, the old ways of thinking in a group of guys, that have lived that way for years and years can resurface, and I have to keep an eye on that and make sure that we have a spirit of recovery in the house and not that street mentality, working its way and edging its way back in. Yes, as a matter of fact, I just received a call on Wednesday from one of my past clients thanking me. He returned to the Verhelst house to receive his 5-year chip, and he's one of many of my guys actually that now work at CBI, the detox facility in Benson. So they've continued on in careers in recovery as well.
They're doing the work.
They're doing the work, yeah. And I have there's actually a lot of guys right here in Bisbee and around the state that have come through the program, have gotten their lives together, and are doing great things. I'd also like to give a very special thank you to Joe and Sean at Joe's Consignment Store for their ongoing support and showing us the love that they've shown us.